Hello, today is the 9th of January 2008, and I am Aviva Lee reporting live from the International Press Center situated in Jerusalem at Safra Square. There is significant background noise here today because the room is filled with approximately 50 other journalists and their assorted crew members from all over the world who are covering the arrival and trip of President George W. Bush to the sovereign state of Israel. Therefore, I beg your patience in listening to this live broadcast. We are connected to the day's events throughout the duration of the President's visit through the technology of WiMAX. Every journalist here will be reporting back to their respective bureaus through state-of-the-art technology provided by the City of Jerusalem and the Israel Government Press Office. Air Force One arrived here today at Ben Gurion on time at 11:55 with clear skies and a runway full of dignitaries and a few pool journalists. Condoleezza Rice exited her transport into the breeze and was smiling hugely. The President paused at the doorway of Air Force One and waved prior to stepping down the steps and meeting President Shimon Peres and Prime Minister Ehud Olmert. With President Peres on his right and Prime Minister Olmert on his left, the President of the United States of America paused to witness the military review of the Israel Defense Forces, also awaiting his arrival on the tarmac. Accompanied only by President Shimon Peres, the President of the United States of America reviewed the assembled troops following the playing of the national anthems of both the United States and Israel. After the review of the troops, the President returned to the podium where Prime Minister Olmert awaited and listened to the military band's rendition of the song made world famous by Naomi Schwimmer, Jerusalem of Gold. While the song played, the President made his personal greetings to the other Israeli dignitaries, both political and religious, waiting for him on the runway. Among those, of course, were Minister of Foreign Affairs Tzipi Livni and Minister of Industry and Commerce Eli Yishai. During his address at Ben Gurion, President Shimon Peres said, and I quote, "Wars are never too late. Peace is never too early. Welcome to the gates of Jerusalem." Prime Minister Olmert's remarks underscored his personal relationship with President George W. Bush. Mr. Olmert said it was an honor and privilege to welcome Mr. Bush on his first official visit to Israel as President of the United States of America. President Bush then spoke and said, "It has been nearly a decade since I was in Israel, and I have been looking forward to coming back. When I left after my first visit, I did not know I would be coming back as president, but I knew I would be coming back. My one regret is that my wife Laura is not with me today. She sends her very best to you and to all of you and to Israel. The United States and Israel are strong allies. The source of that is the stated belief we have in freedom and democracy. We built free economies, and the alliance between our two nations is to guarantee Israel as a Jewish state." The President said further, and I quote, "We must firmly resist those who murder the innocent to achieve their political objectives." Continuing, President Bush mentioned an old Kabbalistic concept of justice going hand in hand with love. He spoke briefly of the justice in and the love for human rights and human dignity and the universality of freedom. He also stated, and I quote, "That is what we stand for today." End quote. President Bush continued by stating with emphasis that the United States of America will, and I quote, "do more than defend ourselves. We seek lasting peace. The President of the United States of America concluded his comments on the tarmac by saying, "I look forward to my meetings with Mr. Peres and Prime Minister Ehud Olmert, and we will express our deep desire for security and peace throughout the Middle East. I am glad to be in your beautiful country. I am glad to visit your beautiful country. God bless." And with that, President Bush was ushered to the waiting U.S. Army helicopter, which he boarded surrounded by security and military personnel, including a contingent of United States Marine Corps. President Peres and Prime Minister Olmert returned to Jerusalem via ground on Route 1, as was planned, and that route will be closed the entirety of the day. That concludes this edition of Fact Without Commentary. I am Aviva Lee, reporting live in Jerusalem from the International Press Center for Israel 24/6 TV. Please look back later today, tomorrow, and early Friday for my continued coverage of the visit of President George W. Bush to the sovereign state of Israel. Thank you, and shalom.